The movie begins with a man, William Foster, sitting in a car, growing increasingly frustrated as he waits in a traffic jam in Los Angeles. Officer Prendergast is also stuck in the same traffic. William, agitated by the heat and a persistent bee, abandons his car and walks away with his briefcase, heading west in hopes of reaching his ex-wife, Beth, and their daughter, Adele. A man reports to Officer Prendergast that William walked away from his car, mentioning he was going home. The man assumed William was going to the bathroom, but when he didn't return, he suggested the police move the car to clear the road. Prendergast showed his ID to another officer, but the officer showed no interest. Together they, along with the other man, pushed William's car to clear the road while discussing a TV show. Prendergast, nearing retirement, shared with them that it was his last day on the job due to his pushy wife. Meanwhile, William reaches a phone booth and attempts to call Beth. She answers, but he doesn't respond, and the call is disconnected. Short on coins, William enters a Korean convenience store and asks the shopkeeper for change. The shopkeeper responds dismissively, stating he doesn't have any. William reads the store's policy, which says, "No change without purchase," and complies. He grabs a can of Coca-Cola from the fridge and asks the price. The shopkeeper tells him it's 85 cents, but William argues that he's already paid 85 cents for the phone call and claims the shopkeeper took 50 cents, leaving him 50 cents short. The shopkeeper refuses to give him the change. William, frustrated, remarks that he doesn't understand the people in China, to which the shopkeeper corrects him, saying he's Korean. William leaves the store aggressively, then returns and confronts the shopkeeper, saying, "Do you know how much America pays to Korea?" When the shopkeeper asks how much, William replies that he doesn't know either. The shopkeeper, now furious, grabs a baseball bat, but William disarms him and begins smashing items in the store. He eventually pays 50 cents for the can and leaves. Back at the police station, Officer Prendergast receives well wishes from his colleagues as it's his last day. Sandra tells him she will miss him, and he responds that he will miss her too. Meanwhile, Beth is on a phone call and Adele is playing. William attempts to call Beth again, but she doesn't pick up. He leaves the phone booth and walks down the road. Prendergast, working at his desk, receives a call from his wife, who is scared and wants him to come home. He reassures her with comforting words and promises to be home soon. In a gangland area, William encounters a group of young Mexican boys who threaten him with a knife, demanding his money and briefcase. William, having had enough of a bad day, refuses and attempts to walk away. They threaten him again, and one of them pulls out a knife. William grabs a baseball bat and fights them off, with one gang member fleeing while another falls to the ground. William takes the knife and leaves the scene. Korean shopkeeper Mr. Lee goes to the police station to report William. He is sent to Officer Prendergast, who asks for a description of the man. Mr. Lee explains that William didn't steal anything but destroyed items in the store over a price dispute. Prendergast tells Mr. Lee that it wasn't robbery, but the shopkeeper insists that William took his baseball bat. The other officers, however, dismiss it as not qualifying as robbery. William calls Beth again, telling her he's coming to her house for their daughter's birthday and to give her a present. Beth, however, tells him not to come, claiming the house belongs to her. William insists that he will come anyway. Meanwhile, the Mexican gang is determined to find William for revenge. They spot him in a phone call area and begin shooting at him. William narrowly survives and the gang's car crashes. He approaches the car, shoots one gang member in the leg, takes their weapons bag and leaves, causing fear among the bystanders. Prendergast consults with Detective Lideker, who is working out. Beth tells the police about William's bad temper, claiming he threatened to show up at their daughter's birthday. The officer questions her, but dismisses her concerns, not finding William suspicious. Later, William encounters a panhandler who harasses him for money. William, in an odd gesture, gives him his briefcase and walks away. When the panhandler opens it, he finds only lunch inside. A girl from the Mexican gang informs the police about William's appearance. Prendergast overhears and discusses it with his colleagues, realizing that this might be the same person the Korean shopkeeper described. Still, Prendergast isn't convinced. Looking at a map of Los Angeles, he notes the appearance of a man in a white shirt and tie in the gangland area. William stops at a Whammy Burger wanting breakfast, but the staff informs him that they've stopped serving it as it's lunchtime. In his anger, he pulls out a gun, and the customers panic. He tells them to relax, but accidentally fires a shot into the roof. He quickly apologizes, explaining it was a mistake, then orders lunch. When his burger arrives, he complains that it doesn't match the menu's picture and leaves, disappointed. Later, Prendergast and Sandra are at a hotel when they hear about the Whammy Burger incident. The officer who shares the news laughs, but Prendergast is shocked. He He asks Sandra to look for a man in a white shirt and tie in the desert. William passes by a bank where an African-American man is protesting after being rejected for a loan. D. Fenn stops and notices a beautiful toy, which he buys. The protester exchanges a glance with William and says, "Don't forget me," as he's escorted away by the police. William uses a phone booth, and when he exits, a man informs him that others are also waiting for the phone. In his frustration, William pulls out his gun, shoots the booth, and walks away. Prendergast sits at the police station when he receives a call from his wife and at the same time from Sandra. Sandra informs him of a man wearing a white shirt and tie, and Prendergast warns her to be careful. Meanwhile, William, becoming increasingly disturbed, visits an Army-Navy surplus store run by a homophobic neo-Nazi to buy durable footwear for his trek, as his shoes are falling apart. While being fitted, he notices a police car outside. Prendergast, questioning a Mexican gang girl about the guns the boys had, learns they carry many guns. Later, Prendergast notices a young girl lying in bed. Sandra enters the store where William is sitting in a small room with a curtain covering his face. Sandra asks the neo-Nazi about William, but he claims not to know him. After Sandra leaves, the neo-Nazi locks the door and takes William to a hidden area, showing him various items, saying they are all the same. William disagrees, explaining that he's not racist and that he's simply trying to give his daughter a birthday present. The neo-Nazi curses him, and while checking his bag, finds the toy and breaks it. He handcuffs William and threatens to turn him over to the police. In a sudden outburst, William grabs a knife, stabs the neo-Nazi in the shoulder, and shoots him several times. Prendergast tells Lydekker about a man carrying a gym bag, but Lydekker jokes about the gym bag and insults Prendergast before walking away. Sandra urges Prendergast to leave early, but he insists on staying to find the man. Sandra agrees to leave with him, and they both go. William calls Beth and threatens that he's coming home, also warning her that America has a rule about killing your wife if she insults you. Beth, frightened, hangs up. Prendergast and Sandra reach a Korean man, but Prendergast takes a detour and climbs the hills. They spot William's car, and Prendergast tells Sandra to find his address. Sandra agrees and leaves. Adele plays with a water gun as Beth notices a police car outside through the window. William, now dressed in military-style clothing, sets off with a rocket launcher. He encounters a road repair crew, where a construction worker tells him that the road is blocked and he can't cross. William protests, and the worker curses at him. In anger, William pulls out the rocket launcher, struggling to use it until a young boy shows him how. William accidentally fires it, blowing up the construction site. Both the boy and Fenn smile at the mishap. Prendergast and Sandra visit William's mother to ask about his relationship with William Foster. She confirms that William is her son. As Prendergast observes the house, he reassures her about certain things, helping to calm her down. Meanwhile, William cuts across a nearby golf course where two elderly men are playing. When they notice him, one man becomes aggressive and tells him to leave. William ignores him, and the man hits him with a golf ball, knocking him down. In response, William pulls out a gun. William's mother tells Prendergast that William has a bad temper and describes his troubled relationship with his ex-wife, Beth, who wouldn't let him see their daughter, Adele. Just then, William enters the house, sees a family of 4, and hearing the police outside, takes the young girl's hand and goes inside with the others following. He tells the man inside about his desire for a happy family. William calls Beth again, but she quickly hangs up. He then takes Adele's hand and leaves the house. William re-enters the house after finding it empty, but before long, Prendergast discovers information about William. At home, William watches memories of his child and wife when a call comes in, but he doesn't answer. Meanwhile, Prendergast's colleagues surprise him on his last day of work, but he and Sandra leave. William continues to watch memories of his daughter and wife when he notices Prendergast and Sandra entering his house. Suddenly, Prendergast hears a shot and finds Sandra lying on the ground. Shot. He calls for help and begins chasing William. William sees his daughter and ex-wife, but Beth tells him to leave. He hugs his daughter and Prendergast arrives, distracting William. As William is distracted, Prendergast signals Beth, who immediately throws the gun into the water and leaves with her daughter. Prendergast points a gun at William, telling him to surrender, but William asks if he's the bad guy. Prendergast admits that he is. William acknowledges his complaints about social inequalities, but refuses to accept them as an excuse for his rampage. He tells Prendergast that he has another gun in his pocket and starts counting down. Prendergast shoots William, and he falls into the water. Prendergast receives praise from his superiors and reporters for capturing William, but he curses his seniors. He then visits William's family, where he asks the little girl, Adele, Her name, she answers, and Prendergast decides to postpone his retirement. And to not send your binge in retirement, I suggest you just click my recaps on the right next. Don't forget to subscribe for nice stories in the future. As always, grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.